Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick and easy painting tutorial for dungeon tiles. The tiles I've got here, you can see I've just spray primed in grey and we're ready to get painting on them. Now this will work for any kind of dungeon tile. The ones I'm using here are from Reaper Miniatures, but it would work for any of the big brands, Dwarven Forge, anything like that. So I'm starting off with just a dry brush of Terminatus stone, which is a special dry brush paint from Games Workshop. But actually you can use any kind of off-white paint that you like to do this. Pure white tends to look a little bit too bright on there, but off-white gives it that really nice kind of scuffed up effect. So I'm only using 3 paints in this tutorial in addition to the primer. So I'm going to be using this Terminatus stone. I'm going to be using 2 washes, which you'll see later on, Null Oil and Agrax Earthshade. And what we're looking to do with this Terminatus stone is just do it all over the tile itself, just as I say, to give it that kind of scuffed and worn look, to lighten it up. Once we put the washes on, it's going to darken everything down a little bit, so it's good to just have that lighter edge going into those next phases. And as you can see, we're finishing up here with that now. We've got that on all of them, and we're moving on to Null Oil, which is just a black wash. Again, it's from Games Workshop, but any black ink wash would work for this. I'm putting it all over the tiles because of the nature of the wash, and because we're looking to make these tiles quite dirty. You don't have to be too careful with this. Make sure you get it into the cracks and the little lines and things like that, because that's where you want the darkest shadows. But apart from that, just put it on all over the tiles, and as I say, it will start to give it that dirty and worn look. And of course, in a dungeon or wherever else you might be encountering these, they wouldn't be uniform. The amount of dirt and grime on them wouldn't be the same across all of them. So don't worry about making them look the same. That's a key part of it, really, is just giving that variety. So you want to make sure that the wash has dried really, really well, because we're going back to dry brushing now, and dry brushing onto wet paint is a recipe for a messy disaster, really. So give it plenty of time to dry, and then go back to the Terminatus stone and put back in some of the lighter highlights. Here I'm not aiming to do it all over, really. I'm focusing around the cracks and any areas that I think might have had a bit more scuffing than any of the others. Because we want to build in that variety of colour, we don't want it to be uniform all over. And the same goes with this brown wash I'm using. This is Agrax Earthshade from Games Workshop, but again, any brown wash will do, really. And I'm deliberately not covering the whole tile with this Agrax Earthshade, so that it does have that varied look. It has that kind of slightly muddy and grimy look to it, and this looks great over the areas that you've dry brushed and the areas that you haven't. So it looks good all the way across, really. And it really is that simple to create nice looking dungeon tiles for your dungeon. Obviously you're going to need to let those dry again, but once you have, this is how they look. And it gives it that really lived-in look. I always work on the assumption that if it's a dungeon, it's not likely to be kept terribly clean. There are likely to be lots of bits and pieces, lots of people walking across it and things like that. So it really does give that effect. And as I say, this approach, it takes a little while for the paint to dry, but the actual painting of it takes minutes, and you come up with this great effect, and it works fantastically well on whichever brand of dungeon tiles you're working, whether it is Reaper or Dwarven Forge or any of the others. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick tutorial. If you have, give my channel a follow, that would be great. Like the video and comment. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy this and all my other videos. Bye now.